Good morning. It's time to have some fun with mortgage calculators and a bit of a hack that a lot of people aren't aware of when it comes to financing. And what we're seeing right now is a massive surge of first-time home buyers wanting to enter the market. They've got lots of supply, so you got lots to choose from. We've got amortizations, of course, up to 30 years happening, and of course, down payment. We can go all the way up to 1.5 million with less than 20%. So it's a beautiful time. But what we're seeing right now is a lot of first-time home buyers that have really good income, but not quite enough to be able to qualify as far as doing down payment, closing costs, and maybe they still have some student debt or some other credit outstanding. A lot of them are coming back saying, I have to wait 6 months or 12 months. What if I told you there's a workaround you could be buying right now instead of in 6 or 12 when the market just takes off, supply is down, and home prices are up? I'm James Lowen. Let's get going on a little bit of mortgage calculation fun and a little hack that we use that might not be known. So if you head to the world's best website, of course, lowengroup.ca, I might be slightly impartial, of course, but if we take a look, and we're just going to call this person my sister, Janessa. $500,000 purchase price. Maybe she's buying Hamilton, but this works at $1 million as well. Down payment required is 25 grand, and that's all she's got. All right, and this is a common scenario we're seeing right now. Now, as a first-time home buyer, there is the land transfer tax credit, but we still have some closing costs available are based on this, even as a first-time home buyer for PST, land transfer, the remaining that's going to be charged to them, and then, of course, lender fees, legal fees, not lender fees, legal fees, etc. Essentially, we usually say 1.5% of a home purchase price should be set aside as a general rule, which we know then based on $500,000 purchase price, we're at $7,500, right? Okay, so she's short $7.5 grand. What are we going to do? Now let's take a look at her application. And as we take a look in here, her ratios are not working. We're also outside our ratios. Oh no, there's nothing we can do. Or is there? In this case, for example, like I said, we've got assets and savings sitting there at only $25,000 available for down payment. And if we take a look in liability section here, sorry that's alarm to make sure that everyone gets updated on this awesome tool, we've got liability or $7,500 as well. So she's short $7.5 grand and she owes $7.5 grand. What could we possibly do? Well, we have a certain lender that allows us to do a stellar peace of mind cash back up to 95%, which is what we're looking for, with a full 3% cash back at pretty awesome rates. All right, so what does that mean? Well, 3% cash back, we've got a $500,000 purchase, that's 15 grand. What did we need here? Well, with that 15 grand, if I take 7.5 of that, and I use this to say, well, we're going to pay it off from the proceeds of the mortgage, and then also I take a look and say, okay, well, we can now increase and cover land transfer costs with that extra 7.5, we're still left with some further money to get you pretty damn close to inline on ratios for that $500,000 purchase. All right, we're at 45% here. We're going to scooch off. I should have done my math a little bit better before jumping on, but suffice it to say, we're damn close to being able to qualify onto here. And as far as the math goes with the payments on 4.89, is it worth it? All right, and sometimes people are like, am I getting ripped off onto here? Well, if we take a look at their best mortgage rates right now, up to 95 on a standard, it's 4.19. All right, so how much more are you paying for this ability, and is it worth it? Because there is a bit of a premium, but it's really not a heck of a lot. So if we take a look and said that best rates onto this are 4.19, and we're getting 4.89, we then basically say, okay, 4.89% total. I've got 4.19, so I'm paying a premium of 0.7 for 5 years. So I'm paying 3.5%, and I'm getting 3%. So you're paying a 0.5% spread or premium. 0.5% on your mortgage on each year on that side to be able to get into the housing market potentially 1, 2, 3 years earlier, to me, I think is damn well worth it. It's a little hack that I wanted to make sure you know was available for any clients who are saying, I'm still waiting or I'm still saving. We can use these tools. We cannot use the cash back to cover towards the down payment, but we can use it for closing costs. We can use it for paying off liabilities. All right. Another hack, if someone says, well, I have no liabilities to pay off, but I'm really hurting and struggling for down payment. Again, remember, we can use this to pay off liabilities. So we have two options. Are we going to take a look at doing what we call is a Canada Guarantee has a an ability to do essentially borrowed down payment. The problem with that borrowed down payment is instead of paying 4% on your CMHC or Canada Guarantee premium, it's 4.5. And then that has to be included in your ratios. What's the hack or what's the workaround? Our friends at Tangerine and most other banks have what are called RSP loans. We can take out an RSP loan, for example, in this case, if we took out a loan of $20,000, all right, put it into the RSP or first home savings account, that client on average, clients are getting around 35% or so back, so that's $5,000. That $5,000 goes against this loan. Your $20,000 loan is now $15,000. We now do this 3% cash back on a $500. That pays off the rest of the loan. Bam! You just got your down payment essentially covered with working a little bit smarter and not harder. I'm James.